Hi everyone, my name is Nischal Shrestha, and today I'm excited to present our paper, Remote but Connected, How Tidy Tuesday Provides an Online Community Practice for Data Scientists. This is work done with Titus Barik at Microsoft and my advisor, Chris Parnin at NC State University. I want to begin the talk by pointing out two realities that data scientists currently face. The first is that data science programming involves learning and honing many different types of skills. It can involve activities such as importing data, tidying it up for analysis, and an iterative process of transforming, visualizing, and modeling the data to produce new insights. Finally, data scientists also have to learn how to communicate these findings to others. And these are all skills that they have to continually improve, which can be difficult when they don't have the formal training for this type of programming. The other reality is that data scientists are increasingly relying on online spaces to learn and practice data science. For example, a data scientist might sign up for online courses, ask questions on Q&A sites, and more recently use social media sites to further learn, share, and network with each other. However, despite all of these resources, learning alone can still be difficult. First, each individual has to use their own ad hoc learning strategy, which might be difficult to structure. Second, it can be hard to stay motivated practicing all of these skills. And third, even if the individual uses all of these resources, they may yet miss out on best practices from the community. So for our study, we asked, how can we build an inclusive, welcoming online community of practice that unites data scientists in their collective efforts to become experts? To answer this question, we studied a social coding project in R called Tidy Tuesday, which was introduced by Thomas Mock in 2018. The way it works is a dataset is posted on the GitHub project repository every Tuesday and then announced on Twitter. Participants then pull in that data to wrangle and visualize it in R. They then post their plot to Twitter with the hashtag TidyTuesday. And the goal is to learn from each other. All of the data over the recent years can then be referenced on the project README, and these are real-world datasets from various sources like open journalism. And each dataset has an accompanying description and article to give the data scientists a good understanding about the dataset. But what does the Tidy Tuesday tweet look like in action? Well, here's an example tweet. A poster shares a plot with a quick description of what they did. To help others reproduce the work, a poster typically includes a link to the code, and sometimes the poster will provide a description of all the R packages that they used for this Tidy Tuesday. They might also expand even further and document extra information about their experience producing the plots. Finally, other participants typically react to the Tidy Tuesday tweets with some compliments or constructive criticism. Since 2018, the number of participants and tweets have steadily gained traction over the years and has created a nice online community of practice for data scientists. In fact, this is now a little outdated, and Thomas Mock has produced a more recent plot that shows that in 2020, there were over 4,500 tweets for Tidy Tuesday. For our study, we were interested in three questions. First, we wanted to understand who typically participates in Tidy Tuesday and what are their motivations and goals. Then we wanted to understand, how does Tidy Tuesday benefit its participants? Finally, we wanted to understand, how does Tidy Tuesday form and sustain an online community of practice for data scientists? To answer these questions, we conducted semi-structured interviews with 26 participants. We further characterized them by the social roles that they played. For example, we had 15 posters who simply participated by posting their plots on Twitter. But we had 5 curators who, in addition to posting their plots, also organized tweets, highlighted submissions, or created tools to explore other submissions. Finally, influencers were those who were already immersed in the R community and had a large following. They either had a high number of submissions or helped grow the movement by encouraging others to join. We asked all participants questions around 3 main topics: their motivations and goals that they hope to accomplish with the project, their overall experience with the project, and finally, their interactions on Twitter with the R community as they worked through Tidy Tuesdays. For analysis, we produced transcriptions of all the interviews, segmented them into different sections reflecting the interview topics, and then we did qualitative analysis beginning with open coding and then finally focused coding to identify higher level themes like creating rhythm for practice. So there were a couple of themes for the motivations to practice. I will only go over two interesting ones. First, many participants wanted to do Tidy Tuesday because they liked the weekly rhythm of the project with the burst of activity on Twitter. Participants liked the consistent delivery of a dataset every week was either a source of inspiration or accountability in maintaining their practice. Another big motivation to participate was to connect with the R community online. For example, P6 expressed that you're not really alone because you've got other people out there on Twitter learning as well. The great thing about it is that it's this place where you sort of learn with other people, even if you're not physically in contact with them. There are also several themes related to the benefits and the impact of Tidy Tuesday. I'll talk about two that I think are interesting. Many participants described how they slowly got engaged with the project by watching it over time and then finally feeling comfortable joining in. Many of them started by reusing and modifying others' code. For example, P3 said, I love looking at other people's visualizations and then reading their code and getting ideas on how I would build off of that. But I haven't done a lot of them from scratch myself. I learn off of other people's awesome ideas that they share. For some participants, building an online presence for the job market was a huge benefit. P9, for example, was contacted by a recruiter who had seen their plot, who said, hey, we saw your interactive plot on Twitter, and we would like to get to know you. We feel like you're going to be a good fit for one of the senior consultant positions. I was really surprised that everything kind of happened because of that one tweet. So that's pretty amazing to hear. Finally, there were several themes on how Tidy Tuesday cultivated a community of practice. I'll simply talk about two that I think are interesting. First, Tidy Tuesday was effective at promoting the Tidyverse R style of programming, which is aimed to make R easier and more productive to use for things like data wrangling and analysis. P9 went from programming in the base R to TidyR, and they said, I'm fully committed now. I switched all my classes this last year to teaching TidyR in my undergrad classes too. There's just so much energy and effort that's being put into these packages that I think that's just like how it's moving, and it seems like Tidy Tuesday was a vehicle to further promote these packages. Tidy Tuesday was also able to promote an inclusive and welcoming community, especially for the beginners. For example, C19 said, I'm a pretty introverted person, so even on Twitter I've kind of had to come out of my shell to post stuff. But I mean, every time I posted a Tidy Tuesday tweet or interacted with people, they've just been so wonderful and supportive. And a large part of this has to do with how Thomas has set good examples of how to interact with newcomers so that others can follow the same pattern. Some takeaways from the study was that to organically grow a community of practice, it's useful to open source the project and keep the structure simple. GitHub helped host the project and the datasets for free, and crowdsourcing could then be used to find future datasets using GitHub issues, as shown here. Second, the Twitter platform provided a friendly experience for Tidy Tuesday participants to learn and practice R. The takeaway here is that you should use a low barrier to entry platform that promotes friendly, informal discussions and ways to sustain the community, like using daily hashtags and providing rhythm. For example, P8 said that we know Twitter to be a very volatile place, but for whatever reason, with the R community, it wasn't. People were always very helpful and always very nice, and I just enjoyed it a lot more. We believe that other similar communities can benefit from Tidy Tuesday. For example, I15 and P16 explicitly suggested that Tidy Tuesday be opened up for the Python community, so that the R community is not so insular. In fact, the Python community has already shown interest in Tidy Tuesday, and some have even made screencasts doing Tidy Tuesdays in Python, which is exciting to see. Well, that's all for my talk. Thank you so much for listening, and please read our paper for the full details.